So my big thing when I start a world is I just build. Then after about a week, I forget about the world. But I kind of did something different. I went mining first to get all the gear and materials, and now I'm gonna build my starter house. While reading some Reddit stories. Also, I want to mention I'm following a tutorial for this house, so bear with me. The tutorial is in the description if you want to build it on your own world. Anyway, let's get into the first story. 40 male cheated on my wife. 38 female married 20 years. Yo, what? That would mean that you guys got married when she was 18 and you were 20. I have no problem with young marriages, just that seems a little too young. Anyway. Well, I made a mistake and I'm not sure how to approach it. I've been married to my wife for 20 years. I have a son, 17. Damn, what the fuck? So you got, damn, okay. Over time, I've grown apart from my wife. When my son was born, the relationship got very rough. Little money, I worked very long hours, started getting disconnected emotionally from the relationship. I did everything I could to get us out of poverty and succeed. However, I did a really poor job communicating about everything from relationship concerns to daily life. I started taking SSRIs to mask the problem. We couldn't afford counseling initially, and insurance didn't cover it. Eventually, after a few years, we did couples counseling. At that point, she tells me she doesn't love me. I accepted and work harder to win her over. I finally succeed and work harder to stabilize our lives. I buy a house, 2 cars, pay off student loans, and we end up debt free, no longer anywhere near poverty. God damn, good for you, bro. That's crazy. In just a few years, you're able to buy a house, 2 cars, and pay off all your loans. Especially from what it sounds like, you paid off hers too, so that's pretty impressive. I finally feel as if I can ditch the SSRIs and do so under the supervision of a doctor and counselor. During that time, I start to realize I'm not happy in my relationship. I consider divorce, but I feel it's going to destabilize my son's life. We separate for a short time, wife and I. I date a coworker during this time. I feel that new relationship feeling immediately. Conversations are easy and I enjoy her company. I'm happy. We spend a few evenings together. My wife asks to try marriage counseling. I tell her everything that happened during the separation for full transparency. We try marriage counseling for 6 months. I feel like I've fallen out of love. She still wants to make it work. I cannot seem to get that I want to spend time with you feeling back. But what am I doing incorrectly here? I feel like I'm letting her down. I want to try, but I'm not certain the best path to take. So, my honest opinion is you didn't cheat. Like, I don't know if you guys set rules here. I wouldn't say this guy's necessarily in the wrong. If you guys didn't set boundaries of what are off limits while you guys were apart, I don't think seeing someone else was all that wrong in my opinion. I think keeping the relationship going just for your wife's sake is a bit of a shitty thing to do. If I was her, I'd at least want to know that you don't think this is gonna work. And and I checked if there was any updates. There was none. So yeah, we're just gonna get on to the next one. My 19-year-old male boyfriend just found out that he's fathered a child, and I, 20 female, don't know what to do. What's with all these people having young kids? What's going on here, guys? As the title suggests, today my boyfriend received a call at work that he's fathered a child. Before anyone jumps to conclusions, this is not a result of him cheating on me. He had previous relationships which ended in February of this year, and around that time this child was conceived. The mother had no clue she was pregnant the entirety of the pregnancy and also was coming up with negative tests. We've been dating since July and officially a couple as of November. What? We've been dating since July and officially a couple as of November. I don't know about you guys, but as soon as I start dating someone, that's considered a couple. I don't know what you guys would consider a couple or not, but anyway. This has come to a massive shock to absolutely everyone involved, as you can imagine. I've had 2 panic attacks and cried a lot. The baby is wanted and healthy. They are going to co-parent with the mom having custody as of right now, but eventually he would like to move to a 50-50. He has given me a way out if this is not something I want, but I'm at crossroads. I feel so young and unprepared, just as much as him, to get through supporting him in this time and also eventually become a step parent. Should our relationship develop over years? I've been sick with worry and sadness. I feel this means our relationship will end. He's an amazing boyfriend, and we've spoken about the future. However, due to the short span of time we've been dating, I can't wrap my head around whether this is a commitment that I could take on with him. I didn't sign up for this arrangement, you know. I love him dearly, and our relationship has been progressing so well, and I'm super happy. But I feel this could jeopardize our relationship, and I'm worried that getting involved might put me in a bad position. Further down the line, we should part ways, or if he decides to get back with the mother of the baby. I'm at a loss and would appreciate your advice. And before I say anything, they actually added an update in the initial post. They added an edit, so I'm going to read that now. Update. Thank you everyone who responded. It really helped. It's been a little over a week. We still haven't seen each other in person, but I've made plans to on Monday. We just got off a long phone call. We both cried and talked about everything. We felt everything we felt, and to make a long story short, we've agreed that the best course of action is going to be part ways. Aw. It's very upsetting, and we've made a great relationship, and ultimately it's down to timing. We're still going to be friends as we share similar interests and enjoy each other's company. We talked about the possibility of trying again in the future if we both want it, but at this current point in time, we cannot make both parties simultaneously happy. As unfortunate as this is, it feels like a weight has been lifted off my chest. I've been so stressed and anxious over trying to make a choice, but now we've come up with an answer. I immediately feel better. We always love each other in some form, and we both wish we were under different circumstances, but this is our reality. I hope one day I'll be able to move on from this dreadful feeling and that I'll work past the trauma of the situation. But for now, I'm going to be happily single and spending more time with my friends and family and my and my cat. Okay, you know what? That's not a bad ending. I was kind of expecting it to completely burn, but a mutual breakup is definitely something you want, and this is ultimately not an easy thing to be stuck in. It definitely isn't fun. Honestly, this is a situation I've never been presented with, so I don't really know how to give advice. I think the writer made a right call, and ending the relationship is shitty as that is. Being that young, she said she was 19, I believe. Let me check here. 20. Okay, she's 20. That's young for a kid, and like the last story we read, that could definitely take a toll on the relationship. And you know what? And it could take a toll on your mental health, and if you don't want that, and it's a decision, you don't necessarily have to. But anyway, on to the next one. This one's a bit of a shorter one and still kind of leans into the whole relationship category we've been kind of digging into, except this one is with a 40-year-old female and a 39-year-old male. And it goes, I, 40-year-old female, discovered my husband, 39 male, lying about something insignificant. I've been with my husband for almost 16 years, married for 10. I've known him for over 25 years, as we were friends for a very long time before dating. I feel like I know him very well. Okay, emphasis on the very well. I've always thought of him as very honest, sometimes to a fault. He works as the kitchen manager at a restaurant. I don't know why that's a tongue twister. Last night he came home talking about his day and mentioned he had a health inspection. They just had one about a month ago, and the lady told him she wouldn't be back before the new year, as they are quarterly. But that she popped back up yesterday. They scored a 98%, which is fine, but how it threw off his day a bit, since because he wasn't expecting another inspection until after January. That was it. It was just a brief mention in a conversation about his day. Later that night, his boss called him while I was sitting next to him on the couch. I can very clearly hear their conversations. He said, and congratulated him on the 100% health inspection grade that he got that day. Also mentions that it was a new guy who did the inspection. After they hang up, I said, "You lied about your health inspection?" That was a weird thing to lie about. He just responded with saying, "It's not a big deal," and I said 98%, and 100% are basically the same thing. Then I said, "You also said it was the same lady who came in that usually comes in, and it was a new guy? Why would you lie?" He just replied, "I'm sorry for lying." That was it. I let it go in the moment, but I'm really bothered. To me, if you're lying about something so small, you lie about bigger things. Also, it's strange that instead of exaggerating the truth, he downplayed it. Why would he lie about this? I, mm, Coming from a guy, I, yeah, I have no idea. Especially something insignificant is 98%. I don't work in a restaurant, so I'm not too sure if 2% is like very drastic. Um, but it could be, right? And they said it shifted his day because he wasn't expecting a new inspection. But telling his wife that he got a lower score than he was, and telling her that a girl came in when it was just a guy, seems a little bit fishy. And having doubts that he may lie about bigger things in the future is totally, like, I totally agree with that. I don't know the word for it, but yeah, no, I totally agree. That can be that could definitely be a throw off for me too. I'd be a little sketched out by that. And why? Yeah, why would he lie about the gender? That's another thing that would kind of choke me out. Like, is he trying to make you jealous or something? Um, but no, that's definitely a red flag that me personally, I would look out for. I wouldn't want someone even lying about a significant thing. If they're able to lie about a significant thing, and that thing gradually builds into a bigger problem. So I would definitely keep an eye out on it. It's nothing that I would take significant action on in my relationship, but I would definitely use it as an eye opener. And it says 24-year-old male found a private note on my 27-year-old female's girlfriend's phone that left me unsure about a relationship. Okay. A lot of secrecy. What the fuck? Hey everyone, I'm looking for some outside perspective. Me, male, 24, and my girlfriend, female, 27. We've been together for almost 5 months, and recently I did something that I know is wrong. Oh god. I checked her phone while she was asleep. I regret it, and I know I crossed a boundary. Okay. Listen, for any guys out there, do not go through your girlfriend's phone, please. That's like the biggest thing. Anyway, well, I found a note that really shook me. It was a diary-style entry where she talked about the guy she was with for 10 years. And in the note, she said if he truly wanted to start over, she thinks she would leave me for him. She also said that although her relationship was extremely unhealthy, she still sees him as sort of a soulmate and feels deeply conflicted because she still loves something about him. Fuck. For context, this was a 10-year on and off relationship she had before me. She says it wasn't a normal relationship and that it officially ended about 18 months ago. Recently, he suddenly messaged her to wish her a happy birthday, but on the wrong day, which seems to have triggered those thoughts. We talked about the note. She told me... Is this an edit? Oh, no. Oh, he confronted her. Okay, sorry. I don't read these stories before. We talked about the note. She told me it was just a private diary entry, but a thought, not something she intended to act on. She says she chose to be with me and that writing helps her process her unresolved feelings. Now I'm stuck. On one hand, I understand that people can have lingering emotions for long relationships, and I know I violated her privacy. On the other hand, reading that she would leave me for him right now really hurt, and I don't know how to move forward or rebuild trust. I'm unsure if we should try to work through this or if this is a sign that she isn't emotionally available for this relationship. I also took a picture of the note, but I'm unsure how to share it. I looked for the post where maybe he shared the note, but the only thing that was sent was this. Like, this is literally the only post he made. You definitely crossed the boundary by looking at her phone, and that matters, but it does not cancel out what you read. A private note saying she would leave you if her ex wanted her back is not a harmless thought exercise. It shows she's still emotionally tied to someone else. Journaling may help her process feelings, but those thoughts reflect where she actually is. After 5 months, it is reasonable to expect that your partner is not viewing you as a backup option. The real question is not whether she intended to act on it, but whether she is emotionally available to choose you without hesitation. If she is still framing her ex as a soulmate and imagining a future with him, then this relationship may be happening while she is unfinished with another one. What that means is she might still emotionally be in that relationship while being with you. And as much as it sucks, I have literally been there. And that's not me trying to put myself in your position, but no, I've definitely been there. 10 years. God damn. 10 years is a long time. And I think, I think me personally, I think I would break up with her. Cause no. Anyway, I gave my thoughts on that one. Let's get into the last story of the day. I picked the best for last. My teacher is in love with me. This writer said that they're going to be using fake names, so I just thought that was important. I'm 18, female, and recently graduated high school. One of my teachers, Mark, 41 male, is married and has a kid. A week after I graduated, some teachers started following me on social media, which is pretty normal where I'm from. Everything was going well until Mark started doing some pretty weird stuff. He was my teacher through junior and senior year, so we have known each other since I was 16. We usually talked over DM about music and movies, nothing else. At some point, he started liking my stories and replying with heart eye emojis, telling me I was pretty and such, nothing explicit. It's also important to note that we had a very deep conversation about life trauma and stuff like that. One day, I was out eating with my friends, and he replied to his story with a song I'd posted. This song was reggaeton, which I know he doesn't like, so I jokingly asked, "Didn't you hate reggaeton?" Big mistake. He said, "Yeah, but that song's pretty good." Then he said he wanted to tell me something. He started going on about how deep our connection was. He said he liked me and was in love with me. And I freaked out, ran out of the restaurant, and smoked a cigarette to calm down. I replied an hour later after having a couple of drinks just to muster up the courage to say something to him. He said that he had feelings for me since we met. Your high school teacher had feelings for you when you guys met. Okay. And sorry, that's kind of caught me off guard. And that he had never met someone who made him feel as complete as I did. After that, he started posting love songs, obviously for me, and we kept chatting occasionally. The thing is, he started saying very weird stuff. He said that he would wait for me in the next life, that we were meant to be together, and it hurt him to love me knowing he couldn't be with me. He also said he was sent into my life by fate to help me find myself in a spiritual, romantic, intellectual, and erotic sense. What the fuck? This quickly became very overwhelming for me because at one point, I almost fell for him too. I told him several times that I knew he was married and didn't want to get involved in his family. Yesterday, I sent him a text telling him it would be best if we didn't talk and that I would unfollow him because it was best for both of us. He agreed, but I spent the night crying because it honestly felt like a breakup. What do I do? Oh, wow. And then they left an update for those who want it. It says, I'm from the U.S. and my country and the age of consent is 18. We started texting literally the day I graduated. Before that, our conversations were face-to-face. His kid is like 7. Oh, I forgot he had a kid. His kid is like 7 to 8 and goes to my same school. Wait, a high school and his kid is 7 to 8. Okay, my favorite teacher is the only one from school that knows, aside from friends and other students, and has agreed to help me. Students and students and former students have reached out to me asking if I'm okay, like expressing the pure shock of the situation, since this man was deemed for the most correct and ethical teacher. And they then they left another update. It says the school found out and they fired him. I'm currently crying and listening. Sorry. I'm currently crying and listening to Teacher's Pet by Melanie Martinez, and the guilt is eating me away. I do not know why I feel like this. Maybe I fell for him too. I'll just let that one sit for a little bit. I'm kind of conflicted because in the update she stated, we started texting literally the day I graduated, before all of our conversations were face to face. But in the story, we usually talked over DM about music and movies, nothing else. He was my teacher throughout junior and senior year, and we have known each other since I was 16. We usually talked over DM about music and movie stuff. And then she stated that at some point he started liking my stories. So maybe she means they started talking over DM about that stuff, like after she turned 18. I'm unsure. But anyway, that's definitely a tough place to be in, especially for you, just had graduating high school and having your teacher crush on you. That sounds a little bit creepy. The fact that he's married and has a kid is pretty crazy too. So not to account that he's having an affair, he's also, if his kid found out, because his kid goes to the same school. Yeah, his kid. Yeah, she said the kids goes to the same school, so he's definitely gonna find out that his dad was trying to get with a fucking 18-year-old. That's crazy. Anyway, if I were you, I wouldn't feel bad. This guy's obviously a creep. I don't know about the whole situation, but yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like he was too good of a guy. So I wouldn't be too concerned. It's definitely a shitty situation to be in, and I'm sorry that you got thrown in that situation. But yeah, I wouldn't concern myself too much. If he got fired, he probably deserved it. Yeah, this is all I'm gonna do on the house. Yeah, I'm not really trying to do more work on this. I'll probably finish this off screen, or maybe just continue it in the next video. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. That's all the stories I have today, and peace.